Hello, and welcome to day 61 of Dungeon 23. Today's going to be a short episode, as always, I guess. And it's also going to be an episode where the room idea was inspired, given to me, suggested by one of my regular D&D players. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out the room and then explain how it works from there. Alrighty, so here we have our room, and the way it works is that the party could freely enter through this door here. There's no door, just a passageway, and they're immediately blocked by an impassable magical barrier. Now, maybe using dispel magic can temporarily lower a section of the wall for a bit. How it actually is dealt with is going to come up in a later episode, because the way it's intended to work is that, as I said previously, one of my ideas for this floor was that, you have to use those gems to unlock the exit door. And the gems, being power sources, could be used to power other things in the dungeon, and that as you take them away, you're creating more obstacles for yourself. One of the examples was a section of the dungeon becomes darker, or something like that. And that could be something we do later. But for right now, the way it works is there's going to be a section of rooms that are all sealed off with magical barriers. You just can't access those areas until you get the gem that is powering the one. So it's like some machine in a different room. You walk over, you unplug it, and it shuts down all those. That means you could pass those areas, but it also means that any monsters that were isolated from you can now get to you. And speaking of monsters, the monster we're going to put in this room is a new one. It is not that big, although you think it would be big. It's a medium creature. It is a rust monster. Now, for those who don't know what rust monsters do, is they have the ability to corrode things. They basically give a a penalty to all of your attack rolls with a certain weapon that is made out of metal, or the AC bonus of armor, to the point where a sword is just a normal sword. But then when you deal with the rust monster, it degrades into a -1 sword, so it's -1 to hit, -1 damage, and then it slowly corrodes. So once it gets to about a -5, then it completely breaks. Same thing goes for armor. When it gets like 10, I believe, 10, I think, I don't know. When it gets low, it eventually just breaks. So, despite that, it is a pretty low CR monster, CR 1/2, so it's not too difficult on its own. The idea here is that it's just to show off that, hey, there is this impassable barrier, and there are monsters behind this barrier, but you probably want to get to the other side of this barrier. In fact, let us put down a wooden chest. Let's see here, chest. And let's go ahead and lock this in place. Let's do lock position and set dimensions. Set and alright, so here's our chest. It is missing its hinges and lock because a rust monster, destroys metallic objects. It actually eats them, but that's the point. And it contains 1d4 plus 1 bolts of fine silk, which, obviously this rust monster's not going to eat it. And those are going to be worth 15 gold pieces each, so pretty good. 3 torches, because torches are always useful, and it's not going to be a lantern in there, because obviously a lantern would be in. 1 set of leather armor, missing all the metal bits, so it's functionally the same, The only difference is that cosmetically it does not have any metal on it, and also it's not going to be picked up by the rust monster. And finally, a crystal ball, which is just a spellcasting focus. Not a +1 spellcasting focus, just a regular one, because might as well put something nice in there. And they are expensive. I think they are like 50 gold pieces, maybe 60, 30, something like that. They're pretty valuable. And that's just to signify that this is something that you'd want to get. There is treasure over here beyond this barrier, and this barrier is going to extend like outward and upward and downward and around, and basically an entire, like, these rooms here will have this big barrier around it, and like right around here or somewhere we'll have a room that has like a generator that's being powered by one of the exit crystals. And what this, like I said, this room is just a setup that, hey, this area, or these areas are blocked off, but there is loot over there, and there is danger over there. And it's also going to be interesting to think about how we have to like kind of design the loot around here to either be non-metallic, or if it's metallic, there has to be a way for the rust monster not to get it. But yeah, that has been day 61 done, which rhymes. I was a poet and didn't even realize it. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that crap. If you came here from the Dagoth video, stick around, I'll make more of those. And also, watch Dungeons and Dragons stuff, because it's RPG stuff, you know? And I apologize for the poor quality. It's not going to get any better.